So I'm going to tell you a story about Kundalini and explain it to you in the form of a story. Kundalini, as we know, is latent creative potential that is inside of all of us. It is the very seed through which creation itself began. But each one of us, as they say, being the image of all that is, and because all that is contains within it creative potential, which means not only are we the creative potential, that which is created, but we are also the potential itself, including the great void, what we call all that is. All that is includes all of this. Now, the story here is when Kundalini is asleep, she doesn't know about the fact that the one that she pines for, or the one that she came from, is even around, because he remains hidden from her as long as she is asleep. And as long as he remains hidden, her creation can go about minding their business and fully immersing themselves in manifest reality in the creation itself, so that there is no creator, but you are fully inside what she has manifest. So what happens at this stage? Suddenly, for whatever reason, she wakes up. She can wake up fully, or she can be stirring. Now, when she's stirring, and if this stirring has come as a result of an intervention because of various life experiences, or it could be that it is there because it was prepared for and therefore it was a conscious stirring. So imagine that Kundalini is suddenly a little bit awake. And then in that little stirring, she gets this little glimpse of her lover who is right at the top. She has this little taste of this potential. So as a person, and in whom she is residing, so if she's residing in you and she's stirred in you a little bit, suddenly, even though it is just a stirring and not a fully awakened state, she will want to begin her hunt. She will want to begin her search for the one, when that one is the way she has come from. You will now, as a result, not be able to see life, in the way that you normally would, in the name, and suddenly you won't be an integrated individual in normal society, because now things don't seem quite normal to you. The balance has been tilted. And all the while, Kundalini is excited and she just wants to make this journey. Except to make the journey, she can't just be half asleep or just stirring, because she needs enough power in her to take the leap and fully awaken, so that she can then make way through the middle channel, which is the Sushumna Nadi. That's the channel that is the only way to get to her Shiva, to get to all that is, to get to the great void. Now, so she fully awakens, right? And this could be as a result of her encouraging you to get into certain practices, get into some form of awareness, get into some kind of spiritual awakening and some kind of understanding of what's happening. And maybe you're just going back into your meditation. Maybe you're unable to leave your spiritual practices, or maybe you didn't have any, now you suddenly do. You're suddenly doing all of these things that take you away from that which can be seen to that which cannot be seen. And as you're doing this, she's getting all the more excited. And as she's getting excited, she needs to keep her fuel up. She needs to keep up with the energy. Now, not only does she need her own power to be very, very strong and powerful. At the same time, she needs her channel to be clear. Now, unbeknownst to her, so she gets to the channel, she finds herself in the channel. When she looks up, she cannot see a clear route. So what does she do? Along the way, we have our spine is divided into 5 parts, dorsal, lumbar, cervical, coccygeal. So you know all those 5 parts. Now, in these 5 parts, we will have the main meridian centers, or the main chakras as we call them. And as she passes through them, she'll find a lot of debris, a lot of density. There isn't enough way there. So it's a bit like if you've been through an operation, if you've been through a surgery, some of you might find that you have adhesions that start to form inside of your body as a result of some surgery. Similarly, what should have been a clear passage, she finds is not clear. And you know her determination, and you know that she's only got one aim, which is to meet her lover. So she will do everything and anything she can to excavate all the debris that is contained in a particular chakra. So if it is your Muladhara and she finds, oh, look what we've got here. What we've got here is survival issues. The person that I am experiencing myself through, that I also am, is having issues or fears. There might be some form of irrationality. There might be some hidden traumas that this person has. So what does she do? Now, as long as she's sitting stuck somewhere and she's unable to go past it, she will create such an amount of energy at that center that that center becomes amplified. When something is amplified, what happens? Now, when you overdo something or there's so much energy somewhere, that goes through a transmutation, a transformation. Now, this is where, when we are aware, we can then go with the healing, and we're able to then, whatever comes up, we're able to heal that. Now, as she's doing this, she'll keep moving upward. Now, for some of you, it could take a lifetime. It could take lifetimes. It could even take months to go from one to another. Now, as she finally, and there will be 3 knots that she's got to also get past, right? So the bottom knot, she's already done that, right? So the one most important knot that she'll have to go through, after which it is pretty much a point where she knows she will never be going back down again, is when she comes to the Rudra Granthi. And this has been called different names. You can call it, some people call it the Atlantic bone that we've got here between. So this is the point where there is a knot, so there is a gate through which she needs to pass. And she cannot pass through unless she has all of that oomph and energy inside of her. When she won't have that if our systems are clogged up. So there will be a constant pull between this force wanting to go up and our density trying to get her back down again. Even when we are not wanting the density, because we haven't been able to transmutate this density, we won't know how to let her get to the next stage, because to get to the next stage, she needs to be more and more excited. So there has to be that real force, there has to be enough pressure built up for that to fully break the knot and come out at the top here.